And we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. It is Stormers versus Edinburgh, the first Edinburgh game that I've watched this season, actually, because they tend to sort of play their games at the same time as others. So I haven't actually seen too much of them, so quite keen to sort of see what's going on. Also, one of my former Lions playing, Jaco van der Walt playing, and I really did enjoy him when he used to play. So keen to sort of see how he operates today. Still just seething at the way the Lions lost that game. Look, I mean, they should have won it. I mean, a referee decision which was pretty shambolic, to say the least, was the difference in the end. So frustrating, but also the Lions, their own worst enemies. And it just gets frustrating, doesn't it, when you sort of have games where you should have won, could have won, and I'm bored of saying could have, should have, didn't at the end of the day. But we are in Scotland. We're staying in Scotland as the Stormers look to try and follow the Sharks in and try and get their first victory of the tournament so far. Let's get up our scoreboard. I don't know what I did, but the scoreboard, there we go. But yeah, let me know what your score predictions are in the comments below. Let's sort of get these things going. It's all a bit of a quick turnaround at the moment. There's just so many matches with boom, boom, boom. And after this, we go straight into Bulls versus Cardiff. So back-to-back games all evening. Your entertainment is right here. I am the entertainment. And hopefully we'll have two very interesting sides entertaining us over the next sort of 80 minutes. Jaco van der Walt with ball in hand. Edinburgh were playing right to left in their orange kit. Stormers in their usual blue kit. And quite a South African feel to the Edinburgh side. The likes of Pierre Schoeman, Lewin de Bruin, Jaco van der Walt, Henry Immelman. I think Henry Immelman's South African born. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, he's born in Uppington. Kickoff is underway. Jaco van der Walt gets us underway and goes towards. Who is that underneath that? I think it's Rikus Pretorius, who returns the favour. Doesn't find touch though, and it's an early touch here for the Edinburgh fullback, Immelman, South African. And first tackle for Brock Harris. Right, so Edinburgh up in the right-hand side inside Stormers territory. Let's see what they can do early on here. Jaco van der Walt going to Luke Crosby. It's a solid carry from him. Decent tackle by John de Jong, playing his 100th game for Stormers. Jaco van der Walt with a bit of show and go, cutting inside. Is eventually wrapped up by Scurry and Tabeni. Villacott, they're going to a couple of his forwards there. That's the hooker there, David Cherry. Decent continuity here by Edinburgh, but so far decent defense as well from Stormers. Oh, and that Stormers player over that ball, misses it. Right, they go the big man. That's Pierre Schoeman taking it into contact, and Namaklaba was all over that ball. He's a very good jackler, is Klaba, but he misses it that time. And Jaco van der Walt bringing in the big man, Willem Mata, into the attack. Still on the 10-meter. Jaco van der Walt spotting a bit of space. And Tim Sriel, well, lands just outside the 22, so he can't mark it, so he goes to the boot himself. He won't find touch either. Van der Walt is back into the attack. I'll tell you, he can't get away from the action so far. He's already had about 5 or 6 touches. Now a little ball over the top from Villacott. Tested for Edel van der Merwe. Oh, that's a nice step away. But the penalty, I think, for high tackle on Jaco van der Walt there, or was it offside? Yeah, high tackle gets Jaco van der Walt. So it will be a penalty for Edinburgh. Right, where we at you? Hello, Kevin. It says round 2, let games begin. My bet is on Edinburgh, the quality outfits team. Stormers a team learning. A couple of experienced players and team expecting nice running rugby this evening. Well, so far it's been a much nicer start than the previous game. Let's see if they've learned from the ruck ruling and if they can keep the ball instead of knocking it on, says HJH. Edinburgh going for for touch there into the 22. HJH is going 21-16 to Edinburgh. How do you make the scoreboard? It's my partner or brother and partner who designed the scoreboard. And then we've got a couple of apps who then control that. Sean Farrell says 23-18 for Edinburgh. Hopefully no bites. Yeah, well, there's no RJ Smith, so they left the cannibal at home. So Lana win there. First touch of the ball for Cameron Hutchinson. So carry there for Edinburgh. Now wrapping around. Jaco van der Walt. Oh, it's a show and go. He's got the man. Oh, and it'll be away. Darcy Graham over the top. Well, that's the worst possible start for the Stormers. But it's Jaco van der Walt again involved in the build-up as Edinburgh go over, and the Stormers, well, that's not how you would have wanted to start the game. And just too easy, wasn't it? Solid carry by Hutchinson. They go straight to Jaco van der Walt, who should have big dummy, throws the massive W, and Sergio Peterson, well, I think he's still running around trying to find out where that ball was going. Just whoop, cheers, and inside John de Jong as well. And then he just opens up the gap. And then Darcy Graham has the easiest of run-ins. I mean, he's so quick anyway. But that is superb from Jaco van der Walt to just dust Sergio Peterson. John de Jong also can't make the tackle. Far, far too easy. What I would do to have Jaco van der Walt in a Lions jersey right now. Oh, those would be the dreams. It would be the dream. Sean says, I think if Stormers can bring the performance they did against Munster that got them 18-0 in that game, it will help. Where we didn't see it there. Isn't load shedding tonight. I've had my load shedding for the day, so we should be all good. We should be all good. Like a knife through butter. Exactly. Also, after that Lions game, they've driven me to drink. They've driven me to drink. So we're on to the beers, which is green, so it won't come through actually much. But yeah. And then Jaco van der Walt adding the extra two. So funny that Jaco van der Walt he left for game time. He didn't think he was going to make it, so they have to get Elton Yankees ahead of him, which, I mean, fair with the way he plays for Lions. But yeah, we went over to Scotland. He's been playing very good rugby for Edinburgh. Got a Scotland call up. He's got a cap for Scotland, in fact. So let's see how he goes tonight. This is Kanjani. Don't we get to watch it all here? You can't. You will not find any stream on YouTube. It is a very legal show on YouTube, so you're not going to find a stream for the game. This is the next best thing. And then the Stormers taking the man out in the air off the kickoff. So I mean, if you wanted to ask, if the coaching said the worst start you could have to a game, it probably goes concede a 7-pointer in the first 3 minutes, concede a penalty off the kickoff. HH is making his prediction 35-16. Daniel says, don't drink that Castle Light, whack beer. Dude, just because you're living in poverty down there and can't afford anything more than a Lions court, don't come at me, dude. This is what's in the fridge, which means this is what's being drunk. Oh, that's nice and cold as well. Right, so Edinburgh now inside Stormers territory. First line out there. Solid win now. Second line win there, actually. And that's a very strong carry there from Matter. Looking for quick ball here is Velcott. Eventually finds a willing runner. Now they're going back towards the left. Hutchison thought about going. We're going himself. And there's slow ball there from the Stormers. Bit of a messy ball. Jaco van der Walt. He gives it to James Lang. It takes him to contact. On the 10-meter line here is the Stormers, or Edinburgh. Back to Jaco van der Walt. Oh, he sees a bit of space. He's straight through his Jaco van der Walt. Inside ball. Oh, my living. Well, if anyone's got Jaco van der Walt in their fantasy team, he is ripping up the Stormers. Ben Vellecott's the man that goes through, but Jaco van der Walt, that's 2 try assists within the first 6 minutes. Goodness me. Bring him home. Bring him home. Well, it's shambolic from the Stormers. This could get actually pretty ugly, to be honest. This could get very ugly. Did I add Edinburgh to my accumulator? I did, you know. I mean, he sees the space as Jaco van der Walt. He goes in there, gets away from that clubber, ball in 2-hand. He had Piers Koeman on his right. He had Vellecott on his left. You can see ball in 2-hand. He's looking at Piers Koeman. Then the inside ball to Vellecott. He's got no one at home. I mean, really, underneath the poles as well. This could get ugly. This could get ugly. Rough start for the Stormers. That is an understatement. Drinking Castle is like making love in a boat. I don't know what that's like, to be honest. So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Depends on the boat. I mean, in a big yacht, it probably can't be the worst thing, could it? Ambrose is my friend. Well, there we go. Little Leah's going to sort us out with an exclusive interview. He has slotted the kick now. I gave it already, but yeah. Jaco van der Walt trying to prove a point today or something. Yeah, look, he's saying to Finn Russell, watch yourself, mate. That's Scotland number 10. I'm in. Kevin says, to be fair, Stormers coach, nice guy, but I think could do better. Yeah, good old Dobbo, shame. Oh, that's a bit of a messy restart there. That's a brilliant return from Vellecott there. Right, there goes to Evan Ruiz, his first carry of the day. The stormy Evan Ruiz is brought down by... sorry, it's not Dylan DeBray. Oh, they go to the right-hand side. Willie Engelbrecht being carried towards, but the ball pops inside. Has been carried towards the touchline. Sergio Peterson's got it, and they've got it up towards almost 10-22. Chance for Stormers try and hit back. Scurry to Benny. Goes to Tim Swills. Camera angle's horrendous, but it goes to Warwick Lunt, who brings in Nearly Bashir. He goes out to Nama Clover. He goes to Jean de Jong. Jean de Jong inside. Stormers up to 22. This is really good work. Henry Immelman there trying to slow things down. Paul DeVette going, then it passes to no one. But Evan Rose picks it up almost through the gap, trying to find the running. It comes to Brock Harris, to Scurry to Ben. He gets the offload to Warwick Lunt. Can he get over? He can. Well, jeepers me. Well, defense, she is optional. It is optional. I mean, Stormers have hit back. What a try it is. Kalant, the man, finished it. He is the man that started in the first place. Get him in a Bok jersey. Get him in a Bok jersey. Well, the Stormers are back. Mate, can I just drink a bit? Can I get some of this down before you guys just score 3 tries within the first 10 minutes? I mean, it was a really good run on the right side by Willie Engelbrecht. It's Kalante that put them into space. Then they work it back towards the right. It's a good pick up off the ground from Brock Harris to Ascarin to Benny. Decent offload to Kalante, who's in a bit of space. Just the offload game, isn't it? Well, Warwick Kalant was tremendous last week, and he's on the board today. He's on the board, and so is Tim Swirl. He halves the deficit, 14 points to 7. Right, well, that's a hell of a start, isn't it? Little year, so Stormers might get smashed against Edinburgh. Well, it's a nice way to come back as some good news at last. Yeah, it's much better from the Stormers. It's their first attack, to be fair. That is sublime. Stormers places Kennecoon. That troubled even Munster's defense. And this is the thing. And look, that is John Dobson. John Dobson always plays very, very attractive rugby. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to sort of see how they operate. Oh my living! And now Rick Pretorius has been charged down off the restart. So Warwick Lunt under a lot of pressure gives it back to Rick Pretorius, who takes into contact himself. So the Stormers making very hard work of this game so far, and Stephen is not going to get a lot to drink at this rate. I think it's Evan Ruiz carrying it up there strongly. Now the TV even having to try and catch up after this frantic start. I think Tim Swirls kicked it ahead. I'm currently paused at the ruck, so we'll have to catch up. Yeah, we're ahead. Edinburgh have got the ball back. Still inside Stormers territory. And that's a big carry from David Cherry. Now Pierce Skooma, it's a big hit on him from Netley Bashir. Prop on prop. Pick up and go. Almost through the middle there was Matter. Couple of big hits here now. Edinburgh keeping it a bit tight. Philcott going to Hutchinson, who gets wrapped up. Available Philcott once again. This time going to Skooma. Oh, inside board Cherry. A little bit of deft handling there from the prop. I love it. Now puts his head down, does Crosby. Now to Jakob van der Walt. What's he? Flat pass. Oh, I mean, test your mate. Pretty hospital pass there to Richie, and was smashed by Sergio Peterson, who's got about 30 kg. Oh, and they've won the penalty as well. That's a nice response from the Stormers. That's a nice response. Holding on as the call. I think it's John de Jong who got in over that ball. I'm going to have to take this opportunity to try and slot a bit of beer, because at this stage, it's going to be a long game. That was a horrible pass from Jakob van der Walt. Really did throw Crosby down the river. And then John de Jong makes the tackle. And Warwick Kalant. Of course it's Warwick Kalant. He's just everywhere. Hansi says they only scored because their pass was so bad. The bouncing balls confused the crap out of Edinburgh. I think South African team are starting to get strap on. We wake up now. Daniel's saying Scottish camera angles are trash. I don't know. You just need to stop being so complicated. Just keep it simple. You know that one that's just in the middle and just follows. Just stay with that. You don't have to get fancy with spider cams and shit like that. Rolling more here from the Stormers. Going to Benny, controlling it. They've got an advantage. And a penalty. There we go. Well, this is good from the Stormers. They can kick themselves even further down into Edinburgh's territory and try and set up the maul again. What a frantic start. I'm exhausted just watching. You're going to take the points here. Stormers, Tim Swirls asked for kicking tee, and they're going to get themselves within 4 points. Well, that's the plan anyway. It's a good kick from Tim Swirl. It's coming into at the last minute as well. So 14 points to 10. What a game. What a game. After a bit of a ball fest between the Lions and the Glasgow Warriors, we've already seen more, well, just about, yeah, it is more points scored. JHB says Calanta's on fire. Reynolds says I've been a fan of Calanta ever since he came on the scene for the Bulls. And that's the thing, because I got called a hater because I kept saying that, I like Vassie, but I think Calanta's ahead of him in the pecking order. Edwin van der Merwe takes that kick off from Nick Pretorius, finds touch. Not a great touch finder, in fact. He's put Edinburgh just before the 22. And I said that I understand that Vassie's playing well. I understand he's a great player. I like Vassie. But I said, if you're going to put in somebody ahead of Willie Leroux, Warwick Calanta for me. And I mean, come on. I mean, look, he's been childish in the last 2 games. He would have been part of the box squad if he was fit anyway. So I think he is the natural succession, and then we'll bring in Fassi after that. Those two, though, will be able to vie for that fullback position. Keen for that. Right, Edinburgh lineout, apparently. I'm currently paused. It is Mata. I think he went. No, it's not. Mata's broken off the side of it, though. BTEC Juan Mata here. He's a bit bigger, I suppose. Right. A couple of phases here for Edinburgh. Pierre Skuman with a lot of hair and a lot of weight. Now Hutchison giving it away to Lang, and the ball is splintered out, and it's a penalty for coming in from the side entry. Well, that was something that a lot of people were complaining about that wasn't being picked up last weekend. So I quite like I'm trying to decide if this is the ref that I quite liked in the URC. I think his name is Pierre. I actually missed announcing it. I don't really recognize the referees just yet. Italian referee. I think it was Italian referee earlier as well. All the Italians everywhere, aren't they? Sloppy line out there from Stormers going to Benny. I think he's lost it backwards is the shout. I think it's a knock-on advantage from Edinburgh. Warwick Calanta sells the dummy, gets away from one. He's still going for Warwick Calanta. Oh, he gets the pass away to Evan Lewis as well. Almost up to the halfway line. Paul de Vet is snapped up, pops it to Neatley Bashir. Neatley Bashir with a nice little pass. Put him at 10. Ernst van Rijn. Ernst van Rijn. Hey, you're not going to want to watch that one back. Well, after Neatley Bashir, an audition for the Springbok fly-half candidacy, Ernst van Rijn firmly rules himself out of it with one of the worst passes we'll see this weekend. He has a lock, so he doesn't have to do that. But yeah, I'm almost trying to sort of throw the cut-out pass, and he managed to cut it all the way into the fans, unfortunately. So it'll be an Edinburgh line-out. On the left-hand side, just before the 10-meter line, going for the rolling maul. The sack is good, I think, from the looks of it. So Cherry breaks, and Vellecott goes to Jakob van der Walt. Long pass out there. Oh, this is trouble. Himmelman gets it away to Darcy Graham. Oh, he's been called into touch. Brilliant. Desperate defending there by Cyril Peterson. He's pulled Darcy Graham into touch just ahead of the touchline. Flip. I'm going to get a stitch here. I can't watch something this high-paced. I'm not built for this. This is a brilliant game of rugby so far. Okay, it's what happened to Peter Grant. I actually have I'm assuming he's retired. He's old. He's old as Peter Grant. So where is he these days? He's 37. I think he retired a while ago. I think he retired quite young, to be fair, if he's 37 now. He last played for Perspur in 2018. That's where... Well, Stormers have gone quickly from the line up there, and Evan Lewis has smashed things up. Now Paul de Vet back to Tim Sweel in the pocket. Tim Sweel, obviously former Harlequins player, has played a couple of lots of rugby in Europe. Doesn't find touch, though. Graham goes inside. To Henry Immelman. One of a plethora of South Africans in and around here. Vellecott going to Pierre Skuman, who's been their primary ball carrier so far. Van der Walt lifts it high. It's a little bit too deep from him and should be able to be marked quite comfortably. But Tim Sweel, but it is contested, and the ball comes away. And Ernst van Rijn gets it away to Warwick Calanta on the ground, and Calanta will clear with his left boot. Decent clearance as well. It'll find touch just by the 10-meter line. So very big kick chase there, and putting Tim Sweel under a lot of pressure, but keeping calm with the Stormers there. So it'll be an Edinburgh lineup on the 10-meter line. Well, I'll tell you what, fitness will be tested if they're going to continue to play like this. Dave Shea will probably look for his captain, Grant Gilchrist. That's a messy lineup there. Velicott eventually goes to Jakob van der Walt, who's going to Benny, gets away from going to Benny, runs into a bunch of forwards, so he does well to spin away from them. Velicott now going to Gilchrist. Thought about giving the pass away, but goes himself. Now back in their own half for Edinburgh. Back to Hutchinson. Quick ball here for Velicott. Back towards Jakob van der Walt, who's cutting. No, sorry, it's Hutchinson again, who goes himself. Now looking to work their way back left. Pierre Skuman is wrapped up in the tackle pretty solidly, still on the halfway line. They go back to Jakob van der Walt. He thinks about always once again, but this time it's a penalty for obstruction. The dummy runner there just taking out the defender. Jakob van der Walt thought he had just sliced open the Stormers' defense for a third time. This time illegally so, though. Yeah, and you can see just getting the timing completely wrong to Gilchrist. He runs into Evan Ruiz. So pretty frustrating penalties you can see there from Edinburgh. And Tim Sriel will kick this towards the corner. I think it's within range, it's inside the half. Could have gone for the three-pointer, but they're backing themselves. They should hope we don't start recognizing them. I think talking about the referees, good point. Edward says, I've been away from home and down south since COVID trapped, but when will crowds be allowed back into games? Do you think in Cape Town, etc., any news in your views? I miss going to games, hey? I think they're working on it with vaccine passports. Yeah, so I know that there will be fans at a Bafana game. I think it's next weekend. With COVID and vaccine passports, which have been coming out this week. The system looks like it's almost online. And then hopefully, the first home games, let's go into Benny, goes to Salman Murat. Here comes the rolling more. And I don't know what happened there, but the ball's landed the side of Edinburgh. Jakob van der Walt will kick things down the park. Warwick Galant is retreating. Way back in his own half is Warwick Galant. Goes to the right boot. He is left foot booted by, and Cyril Peterson is uncontested there, and they get the ball away to Rick Pretorius. Now, does he have the pace? He gets away from one. He's eventually brought into touch. Well, that's a really important tackle there. I don't know who made it, but Rick Pretorius is almost down the left there. Cyril Peterson was, Warwick Galant put in the up and under and just. I was completely uncontested. Cyril Peterson with a really good chase there, getting out to Rick Pretorius. And I think it's Henry Immelman who makes the ever important tackle. If he doesn't make that tackle, it's try time. But it's a defensive line out here for Edinburgh inside their own 22. Back to Richie, going for the rolling more here are Edinburgh. Still going out Edinburgh. Eventually they use it. Almost up to the 22. Now Velicott goes to the boot. Still has set to 22, so he can try and find touch, but he won't. Straight down the throat of Edward van der Merwe. You don't want to give him too much space. He is lines bound, but playing Stormers for the next couple of games is Edward van der Merwe. And a penalty for the Stormers at the breakdown. That's a big penalty. That's very kickable as well. Pierre Skuman and the man being nailed for that. What happens if a vaccine out of Africa don't have that passport? I don't know, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if they thought that far. Yeah, I have no idea. Sorry, but I know that is the plan. So hopefully we could, as soon as Ellis Park is open, you're going to see me there. Take my money. Let me back into the park. Let me abuse my players back in person. Gone for the corner again. Here have Stormers. Tim Sriel barking out orders, telling them what's what and what. Looks like Solid Moore here. Yes, going to Benny, controlling things. They're very, very close up to the 5 meter. It's also splintered apart. And Skuman has fallen on the wrong side. So they've got a penalty advantage here to the Stormers and a penalty again. Well, that's 2 penalties in a row from Pierre Skuman. He needs to be careful. He could land himself in the bin here, the South African. Time off. We're having a look here. I'm not quite sure at what. I don't know if they're just looking at who the person who infringed here for potentially a harsher punishment. Here comes the assistant trotting over with his flag. You do you, chap. Well, Edinburgh, after that flying start, are under all sorts of pressure here from Stormers. Okay, my stream is flipping buckling here. We eventually, I don't even know what we were looking at there. We didn't really sort of see much, but we have a restart with the line out. Solidly won there. It's going to Benny controlling things at the back, but has been pushed all the way towards the line. Paul DeVet has to use this. He goes to Expitorius, who has knocked it on there. So Edinburgh get away with that. Back towards Jaco van der Walt, who pumps it deep into Stormers territory. It's a very, very good kick from Jaco van der Walt. He's found touch inside Stormers territory. That is the perfect exit play from Edinburgh. It's exactly what they needed as well. Sydney, on which channel it is? It's on Grandstand on Supersport, or Supersport Rugby, or else if you're overseas, it'll be obviously be on URC TV, which if you're in South Africa and want to access, you can use ExpressVPN. I don't know what other channels. It'll be on Premier Sports if you're there. And is that a skew throw from the Stormers? Yeah, it's a skew throw from Scarra into Benny. So that's the last thing they would have needed after being pinned back after a very good passage of play. They've been pinned back into their own half, and now Scarra into Benny has fed the line out skew. Right, scrum here for Edinburgh. I think this is the first scrum of the day. It's a big scrum from the Stormers, though. It's all falling apart, and we'll have a reset. Where are we at? Matt looks at Super prediction for this game. I don't really do Super much, to be honest. I'm not dedicated enough. It's a bit like Fantasy Premier League, where I create a side and then forget about it. I would have said Edinburgh. I mean, I've got a bet on Edinburgh, so I'm backing Edinburgh. Under a little bit of the cost share, but an opportunity for them to try and gain a bit more momentum. I'd say they'll probably be like overseas where they have to show the passport negative PCR test. The nation that gave you a vaccine would have a system to issue one. Stormers said the Stormers have stepped up so far. Should have gone for Pulse, Jean Renal. It looks like there are 6 South Africans in that side. There's Pierre Schoeman, Lewin de Bruin, Henry Emmelman, and Bowen Fento, who are the South Africans. Because technically, Viepen now and Jaco van der Walt are Scottish. They are Scottish internationals. So it's a very good carry there from Hutchinson. Much better scrum there from Edinburgh. Now Matter with a big carry. That's a very big tackle on Crosby there from Ernst van Rijn, I think it is, and it's going to Benny. Flat pass there out wide for Lewin de Bruin. It's a ball there for Hutchinson, looking for a runner. There he was. Velicott a bit slow ball, so stumbled there. Another bit tighter carrying once again. And a penalty for Edinburgh for not rolling, I think, is the call. They're taking it quickly as Velicott. Not sure it's the right decision. They're still going. They're still going. They've got numbers out wide. They've got number. Oh, the interception from Sir Peterson goes back into the hands of Edinburgh, who are back up towards the 22. Pick up and go on Darcy Graham on the 22 here on Edinburgh. Advantage as well. Jaco van der Walt can do what he wants. Gives it up to one of the forwards. Trying to carry it inside the 22 now. Van der Walt inside this time. And the blast goes there from the referee. They'll go back for the penalty. Stormers, please stop with these stupid mistakes. Why can't you show us the TV? Because it is illegal. It is copyright infringement. It is about as illegal as me walking into an iStore and taking an iPhone and walking out. And unfortunately, it is theft of property, really, is the reason. So, yeah, I'd love to. I would love to just put the game on and take a back seat. But unfortunately, it is against copyright infringement. You cannot watch the game on YouTube. Certain games are shown on free-to-air services and stuff like that, and yeah, we do when there are games being shown on free-to-air view, we will do a video on explaining on how you can do that. Unfortunately, this game is not being shown on any free-to-air services, so you have to pay to watch this game, either DSTV or URC or URTV if you're outside South Africa, or the various streaming platforms. This has been a very good game. It's slowed down a little bit in the last few minutes, but it's still been a very, very good game. And you can see some asking for some water, given the fact that it has been quite a frantic few opening sort of 27 minutes. They're going for the 3 points. Here's Van der Walt. They're not showing it, but he's gone for the 3 points. And from the sounds of it, he struck it well and gotten the 3 points. So I'm going to add the 3 points, but we're still watching replays. So the camera crew is about to get sacked. Yeah, 17 points to 10. Jaco van der Walt adding the extras there. He's had a very, very good start to things here, Jaco van der Walt. I always liked him at the Lions. I was very, very upset when he left. Always thought he had the talent, but he just didn't have the patience to play second fiddle to Alton Yankees. So look, we're tapping back in a heartbeat now. It's a very, very strong carry here from Jamie Ritchie. Now Learn the Brain carrying it up. 12 minutes to go till half time. 7-point lead for Edinburgh so far. Stormers had their chances. They'll be frustrated they didn't get anything of that decent passage of play inside the Edinburgh territory. Going deep now. Watchalong under the high ball. Thought about throwing the pass, but goes himself. He's still going. Watchalong straight through the middle. Paul DeVere on the outside. He's been tackled there. A couple of players there bringing Oscar into Benny. Oscar into Benny with the grubber towards Sergio Peterson, who tried to keep it in field. Well, Oscar into Benny with the techers, but Watchalong is making rugby look very, very easy. Like far too easy. Like it shouldn't be legal to make it look this easy. I mean, he thought about kicking. He decided to sort of drift a little bit towards the left, and he just burst straight through the middle. Gives the ball away to Paul DeVet. He gives it to Scarra and to Benny, who then decides to go to the boot, and unfortunately running out there. But that was superb by Watchalong, and they've pinned Edinburgh back inside their own 22. Everyone else thinks even worse looks like Colin Farrell. He does a bit, actually. No, I can't show any footage or anything like that. Oh, yeah, still in the last year. Some Murat on a barraging run up towards the 5 meter. Paul DeVet to Evan Ruiz, who's well at. Oh, he's lost the ball in the car. Has it gone backwards? Backwards is the course. It's almost still on the front foot here. And then he's knocked it on. Oh, the Stormers every single time. There was a huge turnover from Salman Murat. And now Vinny Engelbrett has knocked it on in contact. I can't show any footage. I'm not putting a year of hard work, 1,000 videos, over 8,300 subscribers at risk of me getting the channel shut down to do something which is knowingly illegal. Unfortunately, I can't show any footage, so don't bother asking. What a game! I need to get my clock back on, but yeah, I mean Edinburgh under a lot of pressure there. And then Salman Murat coming away with it after the lineup, but then EDINBURGH knocking in contact. So it'll be a scrum for Edinburgh, but still not out the woods yet on the 5 meter. Kuta says, can't believe the Sharks let Evan Lewis go. Look, to be fair, I don't think they had much say in the matter. You know, he was from Cape Town. He wanted to come back. And the Sharks had a lot of loose forwards. Look, they'll be regretting it now, but at the end of the day, I think Sharks have probably had the better rub of the green when it comes to their interaction with Stormers. You know, they've taken Bongi Mbonambi, Stephen Bosnoche, Sia Khaleesi. So of all the people to sort of lose, they'll probably say that they're in the good there. Decent scrum there for Edinburgh. It breaks up. Now the ball goes back towards Henry Engelman after the first phase. He needs to find a decent touch finder. He doesn't really. Still on the 22. So Edinburgh still under the cosh a little bit. Right, Karen Tabeni goes to the front of the line to Villa Engelbrecht, who pops it down to Paul de Verde, who goes to Rix Pretorius, who bashes into Hutchinson. Quick ball for Paul de Verde. They got advantage as well. Karen Tabeni carrying things up. So nothing else, they can go back for the 3 points. Paul de Verde popping out to Ernst van Rijn. It's well read though. Still playing advantage. Paul de Verde now working to the left-hand side. Evan Roos is burst straight down the middle. Evan Roos back to Paul de Verde. The Stormers are back. Paul de Verde over. Straight down through the gap was Evan Roos. And then the inside ball to Paul de Verde. One of the fastest players in the Stormers side. And boom, the Stormers are back. It's right under the poles. This will be level. What a game. What a game. It's really good awareness from Evan Roos. Jeepers, what a match. 17 points to 15 after 33 minutes with the kick to come. It's right underneath the pole, so Tim Street will have no issues adding the extras. Well, is this the weekend the South African teams pitch up? The Sharks won last night. The Lions were very competitive against Glasgow. Probably should have won as well. And now the Stormers going toe-to-toe against Edinburgh. HJ says the weekend of the knock, they should take up TNT, literally. But how long can our Stormers keep this up? Yeah, I think that'll always be the issue, won't it? You know, can they keep this up for the full 80 minutes? But so far, so good as Tim Sweel levels the game with 7 minutes to go. Right, Jack van der Walt to the left-hand side this time. It's going towards Jean de Jong. And it's a penalty to Edinburgh. They've changed their line as number club and taken out the runner, and that is a horrible mistake to make. They've just gifted Edinburgh a penalty. Very, very kickable on the 22 meters. That is a coach killer, an absolute coach killer. To have scored the points, to have done that well there, and then you go and can see the penalty like that. I think it's a shove is the call. And I think that Edinburgh, if they're smart here, Jacob van der Walt will say, thank you very much. We'll take the 3 points, go back into the lead, and you can kick back to us with 6 minutes to go. That's just so rudimentary. Yep, the T is on. Jacob van der Walt wants the 3. Yep, no issues there from Jacob van der Walt. Edinburgh go back into the lead. Stupid mistake there from the Stormers. Complete coach killer. There's no need for it. There's no need for it. I love the fact that the stadium is literally outside Murrayfield. It's something the South African team should do, you know, instead of trying to fill up a 66,000-seater Ellis Park. Why not build smaller specialist stadiums? That's a very nice hit there from, I think it's Richie. Why can't we build a couple of smaller 15 to 20,000-seater stadium? Oh, that's a very good run there. Hutchinson's almost burst through the middle. He's lost the ball forward in contact. That was almost going to be an interesting break there from Edinburgh, but it is a knock-on, so a mistake by Edinburgh this time on the kickoff. It was initially very good work, and Hutchinson almost burst through the middle there, but he was reeled in by Namaklaba and then lost the ball on the as he hit the ground. So now Storm is scrum right in front of the poles, just by the 22. Very nice attacking opportunity here. Albie says, typical of our teams, always keeping our position in the games. Well, here we go. Now's an opportunity for they have Edinburgh let Stormers back into the game. But yeah, I mean, I'd really like to see like the Lions go and build a 15,000-seater stadium. Nice and small, nice and intimate, nice and compact, and fill that up. Because a full 15,000-seater stadium is a much better atmosphere than a quarter full 66,000-seater stadium. Scrum's gone down, so we'll have a reset. Time off here from the referee. Right, another reset scrum here. Get my clock back on. We've got 2.5 minutes left in the half. Offside penalty, therefore, against Edinburgh. So this will be a perfect opportunity for Stormers to level things. Tim Sweel throws car pass and they go straight to Darcy. No, not Darcy Graham. I lie like a flat fish. Straight to Ramiro and Mariano, the Argentine, but they had a penalty. He's right in front of the poles, and this should be things level. Adam says this guy Entebeni has made so many errors, take him off. Jaja Cott's on the bench, decent player as well, probably because they have to pay for the last stadia. Didn't you see the Giant Stadium? They just bought 22 million. Are you going to commentate the Bulls game, Stevie? Yeah, I'll be there with you guys tonight as well. Earning the bread. Worked until 4. Had a shift since 9 until 4. Straight into the Lions game, straight into this game, straight into the Bulls game. And then tomorrow, a cheeky 9 holes of the Massey course, probably break a couple of windows. It's right next to an office park, so it's brave. Albie says, I mean, England only used Twickenham for international games. The SA only had one stadium for international. The smallest stadium around the country makes sense. Yeah, I'd like to see. I mean, why do we need flipping? We've got FNB Stadium. You've got flipping Orlando Stadium. You've got flipping Ellis Park and Loftus, and they're all like 40, 50,000 seaters. It's just there's no need for such big stadiums because we only do for them for international games. Straight down the middle there from Tim Sweel. It's like football for England. You know, they've got Wembley, which is the national stadium, and then all these clubs have got their own stadiums. We just need smaller stadiums. Build a nice 20,000. That's a very excited Edinburgh fan. I think she's open your eyes, woman. Well, I think she's had about 14 of these. She's having a good time. I'm there for a good time, not a long time. Right, Edinburgh restart. A minute left to go until half time. It should be. Oh, Young de Jong has almost butchered the kickoff there. In fact, have Edinburgh actually won this? He knocked it backwards, the John de Jong, and Stormers are flying into the ruck to try and retain this. And as my stream tries to catch up, yeah, I actually don't know where he's got this. Come on, chaps. There we go. Well, Stormers seem to have had it and managed to clear their line. And so there will be a final opportunity for Edinburgh, who have got a line out just past the 10-meter line. Edwards says, but they have left Newlands now, but I liked it. They're still yet to go to Greenpoint, but they tend to want to share with the soccer sides, right? Yeah, so that will be shared. Look, I mean, having said that, I don't think Newlands was, from what I heard, if you weren't a big Stormers fan, I don't think people really liked Newlands as a stadium. Probably needed a big upgrade. But I'm all in for upgrading Newlands, not making a big upgrading Newlands, making it a nice modern facility and stay there. But the problem is you've got the Cape Town Stadium, so use the Cape Town Stadium. Solid carry there. And financially, the Western Province was just a joke. So you can understand why they had to move and sell that shit. Anyway, Edinburgh on the... Oh, that's a nice ball on the inside there from Hutchinson. Edinburgh on the attack here, almost up to the 22. We're into added time here. Jack van der Walt. Matter almost losing that ball. Skooma now charging up. Collides into Scurry and Tabeni. Jack van der Walt. And it's a knock on there. That'll be half time. That'll be half time. Right. Well, half time in Edinburgh, 20 points apiece. What a half. What a half. Obviously, I think 30K is a good size for SA Stadia. Remember, 30 years ago, our Curry Cup matches used to pack big stadiums. Unfortunately, times have changed. Look, I think there's a number of reasons for that. Mostly the fact that you can watch it on TV. But yeah, I just think it's unnecessary to have such big stadiums. Go and build like if you're in Johannesburg, and if you're in Johannesburg, you understand. Go and build a 20,000 seater in Midrand, and you'll fill that every week, I reckon. Or even in the south of Joburg. Did you get vaccinated, Steve? Yeah, I had my second dose on last week Monday. This week Monday. Yeah, so I'm fully vaccinated. Ready to go to S Park. Let me in, SA Rugby. Let me in. Thoughts on Xavi possibly appointed as new Basel coach? I don't think I actually back it, but yeah, I don't know. People love Newlands in terms of being on the field no matter where you sat. It was also the amenities which people didn't like, also needed infrastructure upgrade. But that's what I'm saying. If you modernize it and make it a nicer stadium, I can go with it sort of staying there. But it was pretty old and dying a little bit, and they couldn't afford it. So, right, yeah, we'll take a short break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes, and we'll go through that first half, a very, very hectic first half. And yeah, hopefully we'll see a similar tempo in this second 40. But right now, 20 points apiece over in Scotland. The Stormers coming back from 14 points down on just the first sort of 6 or 7 minutes. Edinburgh were looking very lethal early on and have since faded. They're probably halftime coming at a good time for them. And I think Battle of the Benches will definitely be on in the second half. We'll chat a little bit more about that in a few minutes. Hey, ball. Stop doing that. There's no need for such. Yeah, 40 minutes passed, 40 points in the game, and the Stormers, well, can they follow the Sharks and become the third South African side to get a victory in the tournament? And the second South African side to get a victory this weekend? Well, we'll find out in the next 40 minutes, won't we? How are we all feeling after that first half? It was pretty frantic to begin with. I mean, we had 14 points to 7 within the first 10 minutes. And then after that, things slowed down a little bit. But still a very, very good game. Very watchable, nice tempo about it. A couple of errors. But generally been quite impressed with both teams. First time I've actually really watched Edinburgh this season because they've always played at the same time. And I've sort of only managed to watch a little bit of highlights. But Jacob van der Walt needs to come back to the Lions and burn his Scotland passport. Based on what I saw in the first 20 minutes. Apart from that, Watchalong needs to be in the box squad. I think those are the two takeaways for me so far. Evan Nurse has been pretty solid again. Good to see him operating. My accumulator, well, I mean, we need unfortunately our back Edinburgh to win. So it's looking good so far. Apart from this result, this one is the sketchy one. So it'd be pretty bittersweet if the Stormers win. It'd be nice to see them win, but at the same time, it would ruin my bet. So I wouldn't be happy about that. But yeah, Connor's currently leading the Dragons 12 points to 8, as Matthew Dixon provided there. So I'm not quite sure what's happening there, but that's what the situation is. JB, I have no idea what they're supposed to say. Says really good. I started to watching the game, thought it would be a wash, but no. Now, no, it's been compared to look after those first 10 minutes. I could also, first 7 minutes. You could also sit there going, do we want to watch this? But if you did stick to it, Storm is very much still in the game, in that they're level. So let's see what they can do in the second half, shall we? As the players come back onto the park. So, I mean, I'd say that Edinburgh definitely started the half like a house on fire. The Stormers then sort of fought back and were probably better for a large part of the half. And then just a little bit of discipline towards the end, letting the Stormers down. Similar thing can be said, I suppose, to Edinburgh as well. But for Stormers, they've got to start this half better because I do think that the longer the game goes, the more comfortable Edinburgh probably get. The South African teams have tended to run out of steam as things went on. So let's see. But anyway, the clock is on. Tim Swiel gets things back underway. He goes deep towards the right-hand side. And it's an early touch for Richie. Oh, come on, TV. Just operate. I can't do this flipping load shedding throughout the day, and now my TV not working. Please work. Early touch of the ball for Watchalong. He goes inside to Tim Swiel. Tim Swiel decides to go himself. Paul de Wet now going to Watchalong. First receiver goes to Edel van der Merwe. Haven't seen much of him with the ball. Puts to the left boot. Just chips to the head to Henry Immerman, who slips. And Edel van der Merwe is there to make the tackle. Still on have possession here to Edinburgh. Now Vellicott looking to go to the boot. He does go to the boot. Gets underneath it as Watchalong. So a tackle by him. Takes the hit of Gilchrist. And it's a big counteract there from Edinburgh. But Paul de Wet comes away with it. Throws a pretty poor pass. And Tim Swiel eventually sort of kicks it in behind Edinburgh. Oh, he let that bounce. And has it fallen on the 22? This could be a 50-22, you know. All this. I mean, it was a horribly read by Henry Immerman. He lets this bounce, which you don't do with the new law. And it's literally 30 centimeters away from conceding a 50-22. So that was almost a massive error from Henry Immerman. But thankfully for him, it will be a Edinburgh put-in. Brady says, yeah, it's load shedding. Yeah, I had load shedding earlier, so thankfully we're done for the day. John McLean says, nice to see Edinburgh playing some running rugby under the new coaching team. They certainly have the squad for it, but a shame they couldn't hold on to Duan van der Merwe for another year. Yeah, I see he's making his debut this week. After that first half, I'm on to beer number 2. It's a marathon, remember. We've got quite a few games to go as Gilchrist goes up and wins that line out. Matter breaks off the back, shakes with a couple of tackles, gets a few meters there. And it's a penalty for Edinburgh for going straight off their feet there against Namaklaba. As a number 6, you're always on the edge, aren't you? You know, if your number 6 for South Africa is not conceding the most penalties, they're not doing their job, aren't they? You know, Jaco Kriel, Marco van Staden. Here, you know, you see Namaklaba having a go at the ball. It's what they do. They live on the edge of the law. Very interesting to see how, I don't know if anybody watched the Leicester Tigers game, but Marco van Staden was set to make his debut. If he did get off the bench, I suppose we can go and check some stats, can't we? It's a decent kick, though. Edinburgh deep inside Stormers' half. And not straight, I think, is the call. Last forward first. So I think it'll be... I'm going to have to restart this flipping TV. I'm so over this. Technology. Right, so they're just going to be moving for that. I've got another stream here with my iPad, so we'll be a couple of minutes behind there, so we'll catch up a little bit. But I think the call was not straight initially. It was a knock on there. Yeah, not straight as the call. So it will be a scrum for the Stormers. Right, slowly coming back here. Meanwhile, right, so the Stormers scrum on the far right-hand side, and just inside the 10-meter line. So quite a lot of space here. Obviously, no, the safety 22, so you can't kick him touch, but I'm sure Tim Sweel will launch this downfield, or else they'll try and go left. Goes to Tim Sweel. He goes straight to Rokalant. Goes over the top to Edel van der Merwe. That's a really nice pass, which has drifted forward. Unfortunately, Edel van der Merwe was on his bicycle and ready to go, but the pass from Galant drifting forward there, so it'll be a scrum to Edinburgh. Good to see Stormers trying to keep ball in hand here. Oh, I mean, direction of the hands, I think that's 50-50, you know. I think it's actually I think it is. Yeah, it is passing more Galant. Blame ANC, not technology. Yeah, look, I mean, yeah, load shedding definitely has not helped the whole flipping situation. But yes, so it's currently paused. It's great. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, chaps. It's mine. I'm busy watching an iPad now because the entire flipping other one is just completely paused. So we'll restart there, shall we? Right. So off the scrum there, Matter breaks off. Now they go to Gilchrist, started carried by him. Back towards the right-hand side. Jaco van der Walt, almost a bit of a cross kick towards Darcy Graham. Oh, it steps up perfectly. He runs into touch to Darcy Graham. But that was getting a bit dicey. I thought it was too far, but it's set up nicely. But Cyril Pearson doing well enough to get across there. Yeah, he just well, it's not even Cyril Pearson, just runs into touch to Darcy Graham. Bit of inventiveness there from Jaco van der Walt. But I think they're having the scrum here. So I don't know if they had a free kick or a penalty advantage. It'd be a bit strange if they had the penalty advantage to have gone for a scrum. But they have called for a scrum, whatever the call was. So attacking opportunity here for Edinburgh on the right-hand side. Hutchinson going around the back. It's not a great pass, and it's backward ball for the Edinburgh's. Matter has to try and clean up, but they've lost a good sort of 15 meters. Now Velicott looking for a couple of runners. Comes in the form of Richie. Big tackle in from Evan Ruiz, but he does manage to get the ball to recycle. Now Matter, I think it is, with a bit of a run. Getting past the gain line there, past the 10 meter. Back towards Gilchrist. But a solid ball carrier so far. Now towards the right. Oh, showing go from Jakob van der Walt. Gets away from one. Gets his arms to the tackle again. Now McClabo is all over that ball. But that'll be a penalty for the Stormers. Oh, it's available actually for Edinburgh. Oh, the ball's gone to no one. And so having to clean up there. It's a bit messy here from Edinburgh. They need a little bit of structure here. Now ball behind to Jakob van der Walt. Then sends a long pass out towards Henry Illman, who's got Jan de Jong ahead of him. He gets brought down. And Edel van der Merwe is all over there. Needs a bit of support here, Edinburgh. They managed to retain possession. Right, the Storm, Edinburgh can force all the way back inside their own half. So Billicott will go to the boot to try and get themselves out of it. It's very contestable. It's very high. Tim Streel's kind of knocked it forward. It's landed up with Lewin de Bruin, who carries it up. Goes to the left to Jakob van der Walt, running through the hands. Yeah, running through the hands. A horrible pass there, Murchison to Lang. Now a bit of space out wide. Oh, the kick and chase. Ooh, and it's set up almost very nicely. Oh, and I think it was a knock on there. I thought, Mayana thought he was in with a shot. I think he's the man who actually knocks it down. Oh, well, you've got to be joking. If things couldn't even go worse than that, then my iPad's just died. What an absolute disaster. Meanwhile, Marcel Tennyson has come off. I'm just going to quickly plug my iPad in for the Bulls game. I'll be back in a sec. Right, I'm going to have to set up a flipping separate stream here, so we'll catch up in a bit, people. Sorry about that. We'll be back momentarily. Yeah, so we'll catch up the scoreboard and stuff like that. We're just busy getting all the streams and stuff sorted. And I've somehow landed up on an esports league, which is great. Right, here we are. Where are we? Okay, what have I missed here? Stormers all having a conference. Not quite sure what the story is. Just waiting here to catch up my clock. Looks like it's going to be a scrum. Christ, if this quality was any worse, would be able to, it's like I've got like 4 like orange blurs on the flipping screen. Right, it is a scrum to, I think it's Edinburgh. No, Stormers. Watching on my cell phone, there's a way in a nice visual setup, bro. Appreciate that. Jonathan Forlight says SATs need seem to be improving, adapting to the new competition. He also says Ole out. I know these Ole haters in the comments. All these Plastic United fans all wanting Ole out. It's just unbelievable, really. Penalty there for all the Stormers, though. That's a nice get out of jail. Free. Brock Harris clutching when he needs to. That's all the experience of a man with, I think he's got about 100 games for Stormers. But big scrum there, big penalty there from the Stormers. And a lot of pressure there in the early stages by Edinburgh. Alvin Nell says with all the we eventually decided as post cheetah players, the improvement is to be expected. Yeah, they do enjoy a good cheetahs player. Do Edinburgh. Oh, I even flipping Stormers, to be fair. Stormers have got what? Willie Engelbrecht, well, I think they'll be with some Pumas. But they got themselves RJ Smith and Stephen Unger, not they're playing today. But no points so far in the second half. Scarron Benny with the ball in hand. Not been his best day in the office as Scarron Benny. It's a decent touch finder there from Tim Sweel, though. So they're inside the Edinburgh half on the right-hand side of the park. And it's a messy line win. Oh, and he's left it behind us, Netling Bashir. So I think that'll be a knock-on. So that's frustrating from the Stormers. A decent opportunity for them to try and hit back. And Neatly Bashir and chasing the ball after a messy line has knocked it on, and it will be an Edinburgh scrum. So it's not quite happening for the Stormers so far in the second half. John Dobson's just looking not happy at all. Head in his hand, and a very disgruntled John Dobson over there. Hans says, Steve, who commentated last Sharks game for you last night? Well, he was fun. Yeah, that's Carl Asher, who was a mate from Varsity. He's actually currently in Scotland at the moment. I don't know where he is at the moment, but he's looking to move to Edinburgh. So, he'll be on the channel a lot more regularly. He's an English fan, so unfortunately we had to make an exception. Decent scrum here, and decent extra play there from Edinburgh as Henry Immelman goes to the boot. Warwick Galant has been turned and will turn the favour. And I think it's Lang who hasn't taken that particularly one on the full. Oh, he's got himself here. Who the hell is this? And what are you doing? Oh, it is Lang. He's decided to run it up himself. It's a bit risky, but it's worked in the end. But Edinburgh all the way back in their own half on the 22. Warwick Galant now under the high ball has knocked it on there from Edinburgh. So the very worst have a scrum, but they've got possession back up towards the halfway line. Back to Jacob van der Walt, who puts the ball to the boot, and he spotted a bit of space. He spotted a bit of space for the first 22, but he's got a bit too middle there. And Warwick Galant will return the favour. Puts it to the right boot. Down the throat of Henry. I mean, Warwick Galant got a left boot, got a right boot, got everything. And it's got straight up there from Immelman, and it's where's it landing? Who's he landing? It's eventually landed on the side of Edinburgh. They're on their 10-metre line on the right-hand side. A bit of a messy passage of play here. Billicott goes to Gilchrist. He goes out wide. I think it's Lang again. He takes the hit. Right, rolling it back is Billicott on the far right-hand side of the pitch are Edinburgh, or left for them. Just waiting for a couple of ball carries. Here comes for the box kick. A couple of chases. So it'll be a tester for, I think it's Tim Sweel. He goes up and doesn't deal with it particularly well. But Scarron Benny bursts onto it. But so the Stormers, I thought it was a knock-on advantage, but the Stormers have come away with it. That's a big hit on. I think it's Salman Maratu who carried it over there. Now chip over the top from Paul de Vet. Goes straight down the throat of Matta, who's going to build up a lot of steam. He's actually got a lot of players on the left, right, if he wants to use them. But instead, he bursts through the tackle of Evan Ruiz and Ernst van Rijn. Running on the angle there and knocked forward by Edinburgh. Now counter-attack on here for the Stormers. Tim Sweel joining the line. And he goes it behind Sertal Peterson. I mean, Ref, can we just blow the whistle? Because it's just getting horrendous. Right, we're going to go back for the original knock-on, which was by Edinburgh. So it'll be a Stormer scrum on the halfway line after a very messy passage of play. Shark, well, he is obviously a Sharks fan, but he's also an English fan. So he's both, which for me is just a horrendous combination. The fact that we let him on the channel is actually pretty poor. It's a bit of an oversight on our side. But, what can you do? But, he watched a lot of rugby. He played a bit of rugby at Varsity as well. Two-team commentators would be great. Yeah, we want to do it. It's just the difficulty is with both people streaming, for example, you're often at different stages of the game, which becomes a bit complicated. I'd love to do two people in person, but with COVID and people being around the world and stuff like that, it's also quite a difficult thing to get right. But hopefully we will we'll start working towards that quite soon. Alvin Nasser, I wonder how Ruan Pino's Irish fans feel about him playing for Sharks Cheetahs this year. I'm sure they can expect it. It was a good turn for them. Now he's retiring his way down in South Africa. Hans says, do you feel our teams are battling to adapt to the refs and style of play in the Northern Hemisphere? Well, I think we're already seeing a lot of improvement, aren't we? I mean, the Sharks winning last night. The Lions should have won earlier. Stormers are currently level with Edinburgh, so I think we're getting there. Connacht 12, Dragons 15. That's not good. I need Connacht to win that match. Right, scrum here for the Stormers. Still scoreless so far in the second half. At least my quality is a little bit better. It's a big scrum from Stormers. It'll be a penalty advantage, I reckon. Paul Leved used it. No penalty advantage. Warwick Galant joining the line, going to Rick Pretorius. It's a big shot on him. That's fantastic defense. Goodness me. Well, he's just walked. No, that's Darcy Graham there, I think, who makes the tackle. Is it the newbie? Well, James Johnson has just walked on. I'm trying to see who makes this tackle because this is an excellent tackle on Rex Pretorius. Yeah, it's James Johnson and then Darcy Graham. He just bundled Rex Pretorius into touch. That's a brilliant piece of defense there. Yeah, I mean, if Connacht lose, there goes my accumulator. I won't be happy with that. I won't be happy with that. I need an Edinburgh win and a Connacht win to keep my bet going. Anyone with the Bulls versus Cardiff prediction? Well, I reckon the Bulls will win. I've got a sneaky suspicion that the Bulls will pitch up tonight. I could be very wrong, but that's my. Oh, we've got a bit of a full moon out there, and a couple of shorts being pulled down. Right, not Munster. Edinburgh on the roll there with the rolling maul and winning a penalty. So that's a very, very big moment for them. They've been under a little bit of pressure in the last few minutes, and a decent rolling maul after being dominated in the scrums to win a penalty from the maul would be a nice moment for them. Chance for them just to slow things down a little bit. Jakob van der Walt will take the ball, I'm sure, and kick things towards the Stormers' half. Hansel, I think if all our box start playing for their teams, will make a huge difference. Yeah, look, but all the teams will be quite different. I mean, we should be seeing Hamish Watson playing for Edinburgh. We're seeing Josh Navidi tonight. I'm excited about that. I'm a big Josh Navidi fan, so keen to see how he goes. Decent touch finder there from Edinburgh. They're on the 10-meter line inside Stormers territory, so a nice attacking opportunity for them. I've hardly touched my beer this half. Alvan says, she's fan pushed don't mind. The Stormers Bulls get destroyed. Shot and Fred was getting kicked out. Oh, it's a fight. Hit him. Smack him. Box him. That's a big, I don't know who he is. He's got a massive grin on him. He just looks pretty stupid, to be honest. When you're sitting there during fisticuffs and you're sitting there with a big grin on your face, does anybody think it looks impressive? I just think you look pretty dumb. So I don't know what happens here. They get there for the lineup. Number 4 pushes Ernst van Rijn, who has a word. And then he decides to go for the push again. Ernst van Rijn pushes him. Sorry, Evan Roosting gets in front. That is nothing. There is absolutely nothing in that. That was a bit weird, to be honest. Number 4 just gives a bit of push to Ernst van Rijn. He has a bit of a chuckle. Goes to push him again, and Evan Roos doesn't enjoy it. But he was, it's, as I said, it's old, it's Marshall Sykes just sitting there with a massive grin on his face. I just think you look flipping a bit stupid. You sit there with his massive, I just think you look like an idiot. We get it, you're a rugby player. Nobody really needs to know who's tougher than who. Like Arceus Neyman did that against Australia when we were losing. And everyone's like, oh, it's so brave. I'm like, no, we're losing. Just stop pissing about and play rugby. They eventually get to the line going. It's a start line as well. Cardiff lost to Ospreys. Well, there we go. Ooh, Jakob van der Walt. I tell you what, he's not doing too much wrong at the moment. He got a bit of isolated. He bounced away from 2 tackles. They did the Edinburgh fly half. This time, Sykes, the big man, takes it up. Now Vellicott going to Matter, gets in the inside of Tennyson. Yeah, not much go for it ball here from Edinburgh. They just need something a bit special. Jakob van der Walt trying to put it forward in a bit of space there. Right, Pierce Goodman to try and barrage his way through. Doesn't really make too many meters there. Just going backwards at the moment at Edinburgh. It's very good defense here from Stormers. Evan Roos now wrapping him up on the halfway line. So, Jakob van der Walt. Darcy and Graham coming inside. Got a hiccups there. Darcy Graham inside coming looking for work. Also can't get past the 10-meter line. Just not really happy for Edinburgh. I mean, the Stormers' defense, they're drawing a line on the sand. That line is the halfway line. At the moment, they just can't get anywhere past it. Right, they go back to Jakob van der Walt, who goes to the boot. There's nothing on, so it's a decent option. Solid chase here. It should be quite competitive. Edwin van der Merwe goes up, but it bounces towards Edinburgh's side, but Paul de Wet comes away with it. This time, Warwick Galant, his kick is charged down. He goes back and has a bit of a second dip, but it goes inside to Paul de Wet, who goes to Tim Sweel. Tim Sweel decides to kick down the left, straight down the throat of Jakob van der Walt, who puts it high in the air. Again, it'll be competitive. Warwick Galant, I think it was one. It's a knock on from Galant. Well, there we go. After a bit of broken up play there, Edinburgh going to the aerial game, and they've won themselves a scrum inside Stormers territory. So that's a decent result for them. At least a better weekend from SA teams. If we look at the score margin, let's hope the Bulls can pull it off, says Conrad. Sean Farrell, got worse, Steve. Oh, come on. I mean, Dragons. Who even likes Dragons? Flip and name your bloody team after some bloody fancy animal, you joke of a side. You just can't connect to do anything, can you? There goes my bloody accumulator. I should have cashed out. I was going to turn 65 Rand to 2,400 Rand. Look, it was a big shout, but bloody connect. Downstairs, we need to support all our SA teams just to prove SA Rugby is the best. Alvin says, I understand where you're coming from, but S Rugby left SA's Rugby factory out in the cold like a ginger stepchild. Yeah, it was just always a bit of a problem, wasn't it? Because we could never have 5 sides in Europe. And if you're putting the plug on Super Rugby, I'm interested as a Cheetahs fan. If we had sent 4 teams, if we had sent these 4 teams into URC and then sent the Cheetahs into the Super Rugby, would you have been happy with that, or would you have felt that you were being left behind? I mean, should we have left 2 sides in Super Rugby maybe, in like the Cheetahs and maybe if they were operating decently, the Kings or Pumas or a Greek was, because if they were, I mean, the fact that they're always going to go their 4 main sides into a competition, but it is a problem when you've got that 5th side. You've got Grey Blum, so you have to keep Grey Blum in the fold. Joseph, I agree. We need to support all SA teams when touring. Do you think Stormers is trying to play for the draw? I think it's just, all falling apart. I think it's gone a bit messy. And a reset scrum there. Bianca says, would you be able to have an outside broadcast with more than one commentator? We want to do it. It's just a bit complicated. All the guys that work with the channel, none of us live in the same city. Literally, we've got guys up here, guys in Durban, up here being Johannesburg, guys in Scotland, guys in the Eastern Cape. So when we start expanding our team and things start quieting down, then hopefully we want to do it. I want to do it. I don't want to just be sitting here talking about myself the entire time. It'll be cool to get a bit of a panel going. It'll just take a bit of time to try and find the people, personnel, and the format to sort of all put together. But hopefully one day. All right, scrum reset here. 20 minutes to go. Still not much between the 2 sides. In fact, there's nothing between the 2 sides. And a penalty for Edinburgh. Well, there we go. Stormers have had quite a few penalties, but Edinburgh are now coming back with it, so they'll enjoy that. And this is a big opportunity for them. They can kick towards the corner and try and set up a maul and maybe try and get some points on the board. In fact, they should probably go for the 3 points here. This is very much in Jakob van der Wald's range. Sean Farrell says, I think they ran out of steam after the first half. Maybe Griquas, Pumas, and Cheetahs should have combined to make an extra team. Could have done that. Score predictions for the Bulls game. I don't know score predictions wise, but I think the Bulls will take it. I think I've got a feeling that the Bulls will pitch up. Yeah, Jakob van der Wald's going to try and slot the 3 points here. Please come back to the Lions. Like, please, we've got beer. Like, I will personally pay for all the beer you need if you come back to the Lions, even if it's just for this season. That is a very good-looking kick, which will fall short. It'll fall short. Well, short there from Jakob van der Walt. It was pretty straight. It was going to go straight down the middle if it had the distance, but didn't have the distance. And Stormers have cleared their lines, and Edinburgh will have a line out on the 10-meter. No, in fact, it's a bit further on, so it's almost to the 22. I mean, I thought he struck it pretty well. Look, it went very high. But yeah, Alvin said we should have sent the 4 strongest teams based on playoff kicking cheers out of Super Rugby. Then Pro 14 was harsh. A combination team also wouldn't have worked. Remember the Cats. Well, the problem is, and I could go with a playoff, except for the fact that it was COVID times and the teams are very different. And technically, if we were to use the Super Rugby and Currie Cup as the playoffs over the last year, the Cheetahs did finish 5th. So if they had gone with that, then they would have been kicked out anyway. But yeah, it was always a bit of a tricky situation, wasn't it? Right, solid round win there from Edinburgh. Go for it, ball here. Matter goes himself. Almost up to the 22 here are the Edinburgh trying to sort of inject a bit of pace. Van der Walt. Just need a little bit of X factor here to Edinburgh. They're struggling to sort of break the Stormers' defense down, which is a testament to the Stormers' defense, which was absolutely nowhere in the first 7 minutes, but it's been very good in the following 55. But that's a very stupid penalty to concede from Ernst van Rijn. That's very kickable. I think he just knocked the ball down there, which I don't know if he's in offside position, but that's really poor. Connacht scored. It's now Connacht 17, Dragons 22. Come on, the Connacht! I mean, I'd like to see the Stormers win, but if Connacht win and Edinburgh win, I'll get a decent cash out offer, which I could use. It's been a long week. I need money for beer. They're going for the corner here, are Edinburgh. Henry Immelman, that didn't look like a particularly good kick. That's an interesting call there from Edinburgh. It was definitely far more kickable than Jacob van der Wald's previous, but and even the previous one, he had the line perfectly. It was just the distance that was the issue. They've gone for the line here of Edinburgh. It's on the 22. They go to the front. It's Gilchrist. Right, here comes the Rolling Moore, which they did get a penalty from earlier. So a big defense needed here from Stormers, who've done a lot of defending in the last sort of 15 minutes. They're going to have to use it, and they do use it. They break off inside the 22 here at Edinburgh. Now Pierre Skuman. Solid tackle on him. Hey, my boy, Sunday Sunday's on. That kind of vault inside ball there to Pierre Skuman. Oh, and they've knocked it on. They've knocked it on, Edinburgh, this second half. For all the first half and the penalty then for holding on. So that's a nice result for Stormers. For all that first half was fantastic, this second half has been pretty dreadful, hasn't it? Quite a few errors keeping in, not much continuity. It's the pick up and go here from Henry Immelman, who then drops it forward. That's not had a good couple of minutes here as the South African. Yeah, it's not been a good half, has it? It's not been a good half. We had a fantastic first half, but the second half has been very, very ordinary. Dragons beat Leinster last week. No, they didn't. They lost 7-6. If SA Rugby had the type of money that UK has, all these players would have come home. Oh yeah, I mean we could be having a Premiership type competition. Imagine the Curry Cup was like the Premiership. You could have like 8 teams or like of just all the best SA players. Right, Ricky Pretorius is off for Dan du Plessis. I really, really do rate Dan du Plessis very highly. I think he's probably better than Ricky Pretorius, to be honest. Alvin now says even getting Cheers to play in the Russian or US rugby leagues would have been much more logical, especially with the huge amounts of money in SA rugby currently flowing into the Russian league. I think we will try and get into that. I think we kind of missed the boat, but I reckon we will either go to the States or Russia or something along those lines. I think it'll have to happen. First carry for Dan du Plessis off the back of the lineup there from the Stormers. And it's a penalty. Now, this is very kickable. This is a very big moment. Surely the Stormers will go for poles. Yeah, Salman Murat's already there, and he says go for poles. I mean, he hasn't consulted his co-captain. This is rude. But that's a big moment here. Stormers will be able to kick themselves. First points of the second half could be coming up here. You know, I think that's a harsh call. Not supporting his body weight as the call. I think that's quite harsh, you know. I thought that looked like a pretty decent steal. The Stormers will take it, but I think that looked like a half-decent steal. I mean, no one ever really does support their body weight entirely, you know. And look, I'm not saying that, and he's missed it. Tim Schweel has missed. Timo, that's not your finest moment, mate. Bang in front of the poles, and he's gone right. It's like neither of these sides want to win, to be honest. It's like they had a gentleman's agreement at half time. Chaps, we're going to take 2020? Yep, cool. Right, Edinburgh kick deep from the restart. Evan Ruiz got it. He's going to try and get up to a bit of a running start. We're at the first receiver. Goes back to Tim Schweel. Goes to Warwick Lunt. Warwick Lunt trying to find a bit of space. Trying to cut in between. Gets wrapped up eventually. Back to Paul Devettis into Benny. Portavec going back towards the right. Salman first receiver. This time he goes himself. Gets the pop away to Watchalong. Pop away to Sazi Sunday with a gap. This man's got hands. I tell you much, but he's still going at Sazi Sunday. Nice little turn of pace from the tight head. Solid carry there as well. Stormers on the front foot here. This is much better from the side from Cape Town. Brock Harris, shoving off his opposite number. Still going as Brock Harris. And pick up and go, and then knocked it on. Oh, my goodness me. Right, now here comes the counter. Jacob van der Walt. Well, they've got a bit of an overlap here, Edinburgh, if they want to use it. And he's run all the way away from his... I mean, Johnston has run away from his support. They had so many numbers. Even here, they've got numbers, P.S. Kuhlman, if you want to use them. He says, nah, I'm all right. Don't need to use them. Pick up and go on Richie. Villicott going towards the right-hand side this time. Jacob van der Walt. Well, he's still going, Jacob van der Walt. Up to the halfway line. Villicott goes to the right. Tomato who goes inside. Martin Tennyson looking for the offload. Can't get up away. Still looking for a bit of penalty advantage here for Edinburgh. Sniping down the right. Johnston bringing Darcy Graham. Graham back on the inside. Edinburgh still got the ball. Almost up to the 22. Back inside to Pierre Schoeman. Back to Jacob van der Walt. Sends a very long pass out wide to the replacement there. Ooh, chip and chase. That's not the best. Well, I mean, it's a decent kick, but you got a penalty advantage. So they'll go back for the penalty. Well, that's better from Edinburgh. But they should have done even better. They had overlaps there. They didn't really want to use them, did they? And then Damon Hoyland has just come on and decided to just sort of kick in the head. Not quite sure what the point was there, apart from winning the penalty, I suppose. But so everyone says, I think I won my bet. I went Stormers plus 10. I say a draw. Says Sean Farrell. The Russian one looks much more promising, especially considering the crowd size. Also, it's free to watch on YouTube, making it accessible to a worldwide audience. Well, we'd be out of a job, but we'll be quite cool. Right. Decision time for Edinburgh. And once again, why are you guys giving this to Henry Immelman? He hasn't kicked well for touch once so far from the penalty. He's kicked it just to the 22. So another attacking opportunity here. Bowen Fenter's on the park. He replaces Pierre Schoeman. So South African on, South African off. Right, as we get into the last 12 minutes. Please do smash like on the video, by the way. If you are new to the channel, also do subscribe. And if you're new, welcome to the revolution. Not sure we get to call it a revolution, but we might as well. Right, rolling more here for Edinburgh, being held up quite well so far. And Cherry will have to use it off the back. Goes himself. Thankfully, Tim Sriel, a bit of help comes. Now, ball out. Decides to straighten. That's a very nice run there. Into the 22 there. It's a very good win on the ground there from Jean de Jong. He thought he had won on the ground, but referee says play on. Big counter ruck coming in there from the Stormers. They need to try and get this ball out, and they do to Edinburgh, but he's knocked back by Scurry and Tabeni. Edinburgh going through the phases. Yeah, they're inside the 22. Can't afford to make an error here. It's another carry for the replacement back row there. That's Magnus Bradbury. He's played quite well since he's come on. But Stormers have turned it over. I tell you what, let's just go to the game and call it a draw. This has been a dreadful second half. Every single time it looks like there's a promising attack. It's just sort of whittled down by another mistake. Very, very sloppy second half. Very sloppy. Right, replacements here for the Stormers. I imagine we're going to see JJ Kotzer coming on. Godlin Masibna's on. There's no English commentators for the Russian leagues who have a monopoly. Well, there we go. There we go. Sash says, how epic has this contest been? Look, it's been close. I just think the quality of rugby has been a little bit worse in the second half. But very good defense here from the Stormers so far. Edinburgh have grown into the second half. Still no points to talk about, which I suppose is a bit frustrating given what we saw in the first half. Meanwhile, Dragons are running away with it against Connacht. For fuck's sakes. Which were nice things. Which were nice things. Right. Time is off. We're into the last 9 minutes. Can Stormers hold out for a draw? Who would have picked the draw, eh? Who would have picked the draw? Da-da-da-da. So will we see a draw, or will one of these sides manage to find a last bit of energy to try and get a result here? Honey Nelson, Edinburgh not a good team. Why the Storm is struggling? I wouldn't say. I mean, look, you've got international Scottish players in this side, so I wouldn't say. I mean, look, I know they're not the best side, but it's been a good contest. Also, as I said, I think we don't give enough credit towards the change of conditions. He's playing on a 4G pitch, which a lot of these players have never done before. Decent scrum there from Stormers, but we'll have a reset. And then we'll be live in about half an hour for Bulls versus Cardiff. Close off the weekend. And I hope you got all your beers nice. Because, yeah, we'll hopefully in for another good contest. And I'm very excited to see Josh Navidi play, one of my favourite players for Wales. Oop, bit of a hiccup. Short of else, I saw draws. I said draws like a boxing match, canceling each other out. Already a better weekend for our team, just waiting on the Bulls. Short time free kick there for the Stormers. Bulls lost to Connacht and Dragons, destroying them. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You know, you can't. I mean, I saw somebody commenting over here saying that the exercise has been so disappointing. You can't judge a competition on flipping 3 rounds of rugby. I mean, this competition, as Stormers put it deep into Edinburgh half, and the Edinburgh will return the favor. This ooh, knock on there from Edinburgh. So Stormers have 1 possession back. A kick in there behind it from Stormers. Now Edinburgh trying to counter attack. It's a decent carry there. I think that's Bradbury. Right, 8 minutes left. Will either sides blink? I suppose is the question. Goes to the boost as Velocart. It's still on actually. Bit of a tester here for the Stormers, and they've knocked it forward, I think, yeah. So nice opportunity for Edinburgh. They come away with it. Now going for a bit of a counter attack here. That's a decent handoff. All over the top towards Darcy Graham, who can't field it. So we'll go back for the scrum. Right, a late attacking opportunity here for Edinburgh with 6 minutes to go on the right-hand side on the 10-meter line. Can they do something, or will we see a draw? Seriously, contact Rugby Russia and post commentating in English for their games. That's not a great opportunity. That's an interesting idea, actually. I never really thought about it. Problem is those Russian names are flipping difficult, so it might take a while for us to get those right. But yeah, maybe we'll do that. Well, I suppose it's worth an ask. But yeah, thanks for the idea. Yeah, I mean, if they could show the games on the channel, that would be flipping sensational. I'm actually going to check it out on YouTube later tonight. Is it just called Russian Rugby on YouTube? I'll find it. Can't say I'm too clued up on what's going on over there. I see the game carrying on. It's on Cyrillic, so who knows what the hell's going on here. Right, so scrum here for Edinburgh. At the clock. Oh, that's not 750, it's 75. And 10 seconds. Right, so what can Edinburgh counter up in the last few minutes? A big scrum from Edinburgh. They pick up and use it. They got Yakov of. Oh, they've lost it forward. Oh, it's just so poor so far. The second half. I'm sorry, the second half hasn't been good, hasn't it? it's after a very good first half clash. The second half has been very, very error-ridden. We once how did that guy miss the penalty? There were female rugby kickers, players who would nail that kick. Yeah, look, it's not the look. If you're talking about Tim Srio, I think it was very poor. Even Jakob van der Walt, I would expect him to have the distance. Right, so Stormers scrum on the just aside the halfway line. Right, time off here. Referee's going to have a word. Right, research scrum. I think it's going to be a draw, isn't it? It's going to be a flip and draw. Frustrating second half because I thought we were in for a really, really good game, but the second half has kind of fizzled out, hasn't it? Do they have water carriers or do they have vodka for breaks? I think commentating a Russian game will be hugely tough. Yeah, look, nothing like a challenge, isn't it? Nothing like a challenge. Will Stormers be happy with their performance? Look, if they can get a draw, I think they'll be very happy. I think the fact that they'll be on the board has got them a similar use there in the back. Going to Warwick Kalanta, first receiver, who goes to the left boot, looking for that 50-22, potentially. Well, no, was never really going to get it. And Henry Immelman has marked it. So he'll have an opportunity deep in the game to just pump this downfield, play a bit of a tactical game, and see if they can get Edinburgh into a spot to win. Look, I think Stormers will take a draw at the beginning after the start they had, going down those two tries quickly. Henry Immelman has sliced every single kick this game. He's gifted the Stormers an opportunity. It's almost like they're playing against us. Connor 22, Dragons 32, and stuff those guys. Stormers will score a penalty. They always do that, says Bianca. Coach says it'd be like just blow the goddamn whistle, literally. Actually, he says it's fundamental playing with Moscow, so it should be easy. Well, there we go. We can find some Saffers. Well, some Muratas won the line on the 10-meter line. Now, can they get a penalty? Can the Stormers and I don't know who's got the ball here. I think it's JJ Kotzer or Marcel Tennyson. I don't know what's going on. Is JJ Kotzer even on? Penalty to Edinburgh. Oh, well, there we go. Well, with 2 minutes to go, Edinburgh have gotten a late penalty. It's inside their own half, so all they can do is kick towards Stormers territory and try and get themselves in a position to win a penalty and, I suppose, kick to win the game, really. Stop giving it to Henry Immelman. He's kicked for touch horrifically, and yet you still keep doing it. Like, guys, come on. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. If he slices this, I'm not going to be surprised. Well done, Henry Immelman. You found 10 meters. I don't understand it. Dear. Hans says 1 drop goal Stormers. I'm very surprised the game is going to be a draw. We don't see draws very much in our rugby, do we? Well, JJ Kotz is now on. Sometimes snow, sometimes rain, sometimes sunny, beautiful pitches, but the standard is amazing. Yeah, we can watch a bit of Russian rugby. Sash says, after the first 5 minutes, Stormers really came back into it. Huge effort after going 2 tries down. Right, on the halfway line are Edinburgh. They won the line out, and the sack. They try to sack, but it seems like the more still they pick up and use it as Cherry, who gets wrapped up. So Edinburgh just behind the halfway line. They've got a minute to try and get themselves into Stormers territory. Big tackle there from Sally Sunday and JJ Kotzer. Look, I think a draw will be a pretty fair result. Big counter-rack coming in here from Stormers, and they need to get this ball out. It does pop, and they go down the blind side here. Matt takes contact, solid by him on the halfway line on the far right. Now cutting inside. Brock Harris is going to play a full 80 here, by the way. What an innings. Big carry there from, I think that's Bern Fenter. Now going back towards the right-hand side. Oh, a bit of a gap in the left there by Gollum Assembly, who shot ahead. No, man, don't buffer. Oh, you got to be kidding me. We're into the last 40 seconds and you're going to buffer. Mate. I have to restart the stream. Who knows what we're going to get back to? It's all seemed to. Oh, it's a knock on for the Stormers. Right. Well, I mean, ref, I think we should just call it, don't you think? It's. Are they calling it? I don't know what's going on here. Time is off. We're over the 80-minute mark here. It's 20 points, 20, and it's a Stormers scrum. So, look, I mean, the best case scenario for them, they win a penalty kick towards the corner and have a go. I reckon we're in for a draw. I get you contact with the Russian board if you're interested. Yeah, I mean, do me a favor. My email address, I'll put my email address in the comments. Shoot me an email, and we can definitely explore that. Because yeah, it's an interesting idea. And I'm all for something new and different. And yeah, so I think, thank you. It'll be cool thing to see if we can try and organize something. Sachin says these Northerners seem to hit us in the first 10 minutes. The Africa side's always chasing the game. Yeah, look, I'm not happy about the one in the Lions because it wasn't a flip and try. But this has been a good game overall. Decent response from the Stormers. I think they'll take a draw. So far, the South African side's 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss, assuming that this does end in a draw. Look, the Stormers can still try and snatch a victory here. But yeah, I think the Stormers will be very happy with the performance. Young 2 points, even if they get the draw. They'll take that. And then we'll see if the Bulls can do something. We'll be live in about 25 minutes for the Bulls game. We'll jump out here and do a quick review of the game. And then we'll be live with you guys for the Stormers, for the Bulls versus Cardiff Rugby. And I've got a sneaky suspicion that we're going to see a much better Bulls performance. I don't know why. I just think that we're sort of due that Bulls performance that we kind of been used to. And I reckon we might see it tonight. If you are new, please do smash like on the video. By the way, we're sort of on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so feel free to become part of that journey. If you'd like to become a member of the club of the Forever Sports Club, it is the pinned comment. We're sitting on 34 members now, trying to see if we can get that up to 40. Hold on to the ball. Stormers get a penalty. Are you partially South African? I am fully blooded South African. Well, I've got 2 passports, but I identify as South African. Pride of Josie. That is me, by the way. That's what the Lions at the moment. It's me. I'm the pride of Josie. Hans says, Russian rugby, just check, looks interesting. Just don't understand lingo. Well, that's where we could come in. Forever Sports, thanks to Alvin Null, could be doing Russian rugby. You never know. Stranger things have happened. Pigs could fly. And we could be talking about the Russians. Another reset scrum. We're waiting for this game. Just blow the whistle, ref. We know it's going to be a draw. It's available from a similar. He goes to Tim Sreel. He goes to Jean de Jong. I don't think we've seen Jean de Jong carry a ball today, Masimla now goes to, I think it's Ernst van Rijn. Up by the halfway line, all the Stormers need to try and, or Sazi Sunday on a bit of a run. It's a driven back, though. Tim Sreel going himself, almost up to the 10-meter line. There's suddenly getting to kickable territory here for the Stormers, so discipline needed. See if they can try and earn a penalty. And Tim Sreel could be slotting a penalty to try and win the game. Cyril Peterson, he's wrapped up behind there. Inside ball, Tim Sreel thought about giving it, but he held on to himself. Edinburgh have to remain disciplined. Stormers need to stay patient. Solid carry there. I think that was from... this time going to Cyril Peterson. Shows and goes. Up to the middle. Right, so Stormers still having a go at Edinburgh. Now Tim Sreel going on the inside there, wrapped up. Edinburgh can't afford to concede a penalty. Stormers can't afford to knock it on. Evan Ruiz this time. They're on the 10-meter line. Now they're going to JJ Kotzer. JJ Kotzer gets past the 10-meter line. This is now getting into very much kickable territory for Tim Sreel. Now to Warwick. They also only got too wide. Obviously, look, a try wins you the game. But still a long way to go. Inside towards JJ Kotzer. They were halfway between the 10-meter and the 22. This is really good work. Oh, Tim Sreel for the drop. It's so high from Tim Sreel. You're not Alton Yankees, mate. Well, Edinburgh are now trying to keep things alive. Henry Immelman not happy with the draw. No ways. Imagine they go score. Imagine Edinburgh score after that. That would be. I mean, Tim Sriel would be burnt at the stake. Where Edinburgh are keeping things alive. Tim Sriel's drop kick was a pretty poor attempt. They go back to Jakob van der Walt. Swings a long pass out. They're keeping this going here at Edinburgh. You know. I mean, they're in their 22, so they have a long way to go. But they won a victory. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I'm sorry. You guys have played 43 minutes. Now they decided to go for it. Yeah, Edinburgh put it into touch. So there we go. 20 points apiece. 20 points apiece. Final score over there in Edinburgh is 20 points each. A draw. We didn't really think about that, didn't we? I don't think any of us decided we were going to have a draw. But there it is. We'll be live in 20 minutes for the Bulls versus Cardiff. Until then, you can go and hang out over there. This will take you straight to that stream. Thanks you very much for keeping me company. And I'll hopefully see you guys all for the Bulls game. Should be a cracker to end off the weekend. The Stormers are on the board. They've gone after 2 back-to-back losses. They've got a draw. They've got 2 points out of it. They'll be very happy with that after a very big first 7 minutes from Edinburgh. But there we go. We'll see you guys very soon. Please do smash like on the video and subscribe if you are new.